Hey IDs, welcome to Module 2. I just want to say that Module 1 just finished reading through some of the posts and some of the comments that were made, and also I did my best to not only comment on each of the posts, but also to try to make some connections between each of you, because there was some commonalities there and connections and so forth. So I hope you kind of went back and looked at some of those things and maybe reconnected with one of your classmates or two on the special things. So very good job. One of the things that really came out from that first discussion, other than really getting at some of the efficacies of online learning, it's amazing that sometimes topics kind of come out of there that are really kind of important too. And I noticed that formative assessments seem to come out at least a few times, which is really great. And of course, for me, that's pretty special because that's kind of my specialty area in terms of content development and instructional design and things like that. Is the whole idea of formative assessment, and Module 11 will be speaking to that quite a bit. It's very, very, very important, I think, and it may be a little underserved at times. So. That's really great. The other thing was that I've been kicking around this whole idea of synchronous sessions. I haven't really done that within this course yet, but I was particularly amazed that the Skype seemed to come out a couple of times where that's been used quite a bit. And if you notice in the syllabus, I do have some dates kind of penciled in for synchronous sessions, or at least those particular weeks. So. This really kind of galvanizes my decision on whether or not to use something synchronous. So what I'm going to do this week is I'm going to send out a little survey. This is added on that I wasn't planning on originally. A little survey for times and maybe days that work potentially for you for a Skype session, and for you, if you haven't gotten one already, to get a free Skype account. I think we can do some pretty nice things with those. And I think with respect to the project, when we start getting into that in Module 4 and throughout the remainder of the course, that tool might be really good for pairings to get together and discuss what they've been doing with their project and things like that, and just a virtual meeting. Which is sometimes really good. So I'm gonna include that in this week's module, and we can get started with that, and that it should be really, really good. All right. So great job, Module 1. Probably the best discussion overall that I've had so far in terms of the first week. Very good, very good, very good discussion. So anyway. Moving on to Module 2. Module 2 is all about the adult learner and about knowing the audience, and it's really important. In fact, I know that a few of you are teachers, students, or are currently teaching, and I have to tell you that teaching and the audience of children as opposed to audiences of adults is very different. They think very differently, and one of the big questions you may be pondering over the course of the week is like, when does someone become an adult learner? Is it an age thing or is it a maturity thing? I think it's really kind of in the way of it's your outlook on life, essentially, because your perspective in terms of how you use education is where it is, I think. So kind of just be thinking about that. That's an interesting question. When do I become an adult learner? When did I become an adult learner? You might want to think about that yourself. When is it that I officially started thinking as an adult learner? When you're reading through the literature and to the looking at the mini lecture in there. Just think about that. Now, the audience. Once we know what the adult learner is, then we got to think about how we're gonna deliver the material to your adult learner, right? And it's not that much different than like coming up with a commercial, right? Because you have a particular agenda or a particular topic or an objective, and you need to deliver it to an audience so that you could sell the product. Well, what you got to do is you got to know who your market is, you got to know who your audience is, and then you got to find a way to properly communicate it so that not only are the receivers of this particular item are excited about it, but then they're going to respond and be active about it and buy the product, right? So that's kind of where we are with that. How are we going to reach the people that are the receivers of this particular learning of this particular product and so forth? So kind of be thinking about that. This is a reasonably light week. We got a discussion. We got a journal entry actually for the first time. Again, this is the preliminary steps to get us ready for our project. It's going to begin in Module 4. Next week, you can of course look forward to the tool part. We're going to be investigating tools, and it's just going to move right along. It moves very quickly, and I can't wait till we get to Module 4 and start thinking about putting together the project. It's going to be very exciting. So once again, have a really, really great week in Module 2. And I will see you online. If you have any questions, the first bit is to post it up to the Q&A forum. If you've got questions that can be answered by classmates, you do that there first. If it's of a personal nature or it doesn't work on the Q&A forum, then feel free to email me. All right? So great. Have a great week. Bye-bye.